Iceland. Amazing doesn't even begin to cover it. Let me bring you up to speed on where we left off. Our journey started with a FareDrop flight deal to Reykjavik, where we picked up our van, grabbed some Icelandic hot dogs, and set off to discover our first waterfall. From that moment on, it was just a continuous stream of breathtaking landscapes, day after day after day, until we ended up in the Northeast, where we are now. But there's one thing that's been eluding us so far. Those pesky little puffins. They've been dodging us since day one, so while we continue on the ring road, one of our main goals will be finally spotting a few of these puffins in the wild. Last night we drove 2, maybe 3 hours to get here. We're a little bit further north and it's almost on top of the mountains. And yet, surprisingly, it's the warmest day we've had. Like, it's probably 8 in the morning right now, and this is what I'm wearing because it feels great.
Hello.
Hi. We camped last night, but no one was in reception.
I want to pay for the camp. Yes. How many persons it will be? 2.
We found this campsite called Falakafi. The campsite was about 1,750 krona a person, but the good thing is not only did we secure a peaceful overnight stay, but in the morning we also treated ourselves to some Icelandic donuts called kleina.
Fine. Kind of weird. Smells like it'd be moister than it is.
Thought it'd be sweet. Oh. Be warned though, this place is definitely off the beaten path, and the road is not for the faint of heart. But this morning we're heading to one of Iceland's Viti Craters. However, the closer we got to the crater, the more we became aware of the smell.
Oh my god!
Oh, gross. Whew. That's some strong smelling eggs.
Oh, that is so bad.
Oh, that's foul.
Oh my god.
It smells like if you had like 100 eggs and just left them out in the sun after they boiled and just rotted away. It's strong. It's a strong smell.
It's cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
This one is just one of the 2 most famous Viti craters in Iceland. It's better known for the aqua blue water that sits within it year round. And this vivid coloration is due to the elements brought up from the geothermal activity in the area. Got a new hairstyle.
Whoa.
I feel like if the wind gets any stronger, we might actually blow it. It was cool though. Woo! You can walk the entire rim of the crater, but it was far too windy for us. Did your drool just come out of your mouth? It is crazy windy. It's quite the resistance training for exercise.
There's a tiny moment of peace you get when you come out on this ledge because it goes a little bit down, so you're kind of blocked by the rest of the mountain. But we're gonna get annihilated as soon as we go back up.
Yeah. Your hair looks crazy. I've never been that forcibly moved by wind before. It was literally moving me in any direction. Coming back down, I thought I was gonna like fly away. Oh, by the way, the smell came from the geothermal energy plants nearby. I'll take being blown over by the wind over the smell of sulfur any day.
This is supposed to be the second highest volume waterfall or largest waterfall in Europe. This is the west side. You can also go to the east side, but the west side I think is an easier drive because it's all paved, whereas the east side I think it's an F road. An F road is, I think, the roads that connect like the inner part of Iceland It's known to be really rocky, not paved. Some are through like rivers. So it's recommended that your vehicle is 4x4, but you also need to check with your rental car company if you're allowed to drive on F-roads in whatever you're renting.
So yeah, that's why we're at yet another waterfall. Being the second largest waterfall in Europe means it has to be impressive. We've seen our fair share of waterfalls on this road trip to this point, but we weren't prepared for this.
Okay, that's it. No more waterfalls. So there's actually two waterfalls here. Dettifoss is the one we just went to. That's the massive one. And then Selfoss is about half a kilometer away. Also, I apologize in advance for butchering these names. I've held off on saying a lot of names. I haven't had a lot of practice, to be honest with you, but when we get back, we're gonna practice a lot of names. From the waterfall, we continued on our trip around the ring road until we got to Husavik. And Sarah and I have two very different reasons for wanting to visit this town.
We have made it to the charming northern seaside town of Husavik. It is so cute. Now, one of the most popular activities to do here is actually go whale watching, which I feel like is going to have to be a next time activity for us, just because once you start booking so many activities, it's like $200 to $300 here, $200 to $300 there, and I can only spend $200 to $300 so many times before I have a panic attack. Look at all the whales that are here. So many whales.
I mentioned that Sarah and I had different reasons for visiting Husavik. Well, she wanted to check out one of the geothermic baths.
Took advantage of every shower product they had because that's my first shower since we've been in this country.
We are at GeoSpa. This is a geothermal bath. It overlooks the ocean right here, and it is absolutely beautiful. The total entry with towels was like $115 for the both of us, which I think is almost the same as like one ticket to Blue Lagoon.
Way this works, you get here, sign in, you get a little wristband. They also have a swim up bar you can go to as well, which I will take full advantage of. The bath by the bar is the warmest one. We might just stay over here. This is like where it's at. I found this map that has the location to all the puffin colonies in Iceland. One is supposed to be right here outside of Husavik. Also, I think Nat Geo is following us. Yep. Got a lead on where to find some puffins here in the north. The Tehorn Peninsula is supposed to have some. It's supposed to have a colony of about like 60 or so. Don't know how recent that news is. I don't know if they're still here, but this is probably going to be our last shot to try to find them. Can you see them?
Wait, are those little fuckers
Fake
out
puffins?
right?
Well, we found the puffins. There's probably about hundreds of them on this cliff face. I didn't realize they were this small. They're like tiny little meatballs. They're like really cute and adorable though. Telling you, Nat Geo. Sarah and I are on it. Look at that. Up close and personal, zoom lens. Guys, listen. Never thought I'd be this excited to see birds, but this is pretty cool.
You're telling me.
Who was that accent?
I don't know.
It's really hard to imagine how such small birds that flap their wings as fast and as often as they do spend most of their life on the ocean.
Did you look up puffin facts today?
No, I knew that.
Oh.
Nat Geo.
Y'all, we did it. We found the Puffins, but with it being after 10 p.m., we set our sights on our next few goals and started making our way back to Reykjavik. Before then, we needed to find a campsite for the night.
So let's talk numbers. So far this year, we've taken 6 trips on FareDrop flight deals. The biggest saving that we've had so far was on our trip to New Zealand, where we saved $560 each on our flights.
Our total savings for these 6 trips has been $1,546 total, which is over $3,000 for us together.
Now you may be thinking, Sarah, there is no way I'm taking 6 flights a year. Well, not to worry, because we have found that users on average save $450 on their flights.
So if you want to save money on bucket list destinations like Mexico, New Zealand, and Iceland, scan the QR code or head to the link in the description of this video to set up your FareDrop membership today. After a night in Akureyri, surrounded by beautiful Icelandic horses, it was time to hit the road again.
So we are now completing the tail end of the ring road. We are back on our way to Reykjavik. We are honestly skipping a lot of kind of peninsulas on the way. It would just add too much time. And also the weather today is not great. I think the reality of travel, and more specifically of travel in Iceland, is that the weather can be unpredictable and you need to kind of account for that. Today started off very sunny, but now it is rainy and dreary and still windy. But the landscape is still beautiful, so it's still a lovely drive.
We're back in Reykjavik and we're gonna get some soup. Sarah found this place and it's apparently the best soup in town. We're learning that soup is a pretty big deal here in Iceland. So the place we're at has 2 options for soup. You can get either a meat soup or a vegetable soup. Today they have the meat soup that has lamb, pepperoni, beef, and bacon in a bread bowl. And the other soup is like a mushroom and an onion soup. A bread bowl and beer combo cost us 3,800 krona. I never thought I'd be this excited about a bowl of soup, but I kind of get why it's quite popular here. We walked off our soup and beer by exploring a couple Reykjavik landmarks for a few hours. Probably the most noticeable thing in Reykjavik is this concrete church, whose design resembles the Icelandic landscape. We didn't go in, but I think admission to the tower is about 1,000 krona. And Reykjavik is supposed to have some pretty interesting dessert. This place called Loki was recommended to us for their rye bread ice cream.
Ooh, that's good. Kind of tastes like a Samoa, like a Girl Scout Samoa cookie.
Is this healthy?
No.
Kind of tastes like a Milky Way. It's like fluffy, caramel, chocolate. Even though we only stopped in for dessert, our total was 2,800 krona. Aren't you cute? The problem with ice cream is I'm addicted, so 1 scoop is never enough.
We're not getting more ice cream. Reykjavik is, I think, the largest town in Iceland, but it is definitely not a big city by any means. Seems very walkable, very cute, very quiet.
And I think the cutest part of this town might just be Rainbow Street.
Cute. Oh. Skip.
Literally just woke up, so I don't even know if the sleep is off my face yet. But morning, today we're gonna head to Blue Lagoon. We booked our visit for 7 a.m. because why not get a shower and spa treatment first thing in the morning? I mean, technically, right? Plus the 7 a.m. time slot is a little bit cheaper than the rest of the day.
Now I've heard the Blue Lagoon is 100% worth it, and I have heard that it is absolutely overrated. I figure if we're in Iceland, we should see for ourselves and just check it off the list, because it is one of the most famous spots, I feel like, in Iceland. It is 7 a.m. right when it opens. So windy and cold, so we'll see how that affects the experience, but let's see what kind of time we're gonna have.
Getting here earlier also means there are very few people here compared to how I'm guessing it normally is. That means getting through the line and getting our wristbands was also a breeze.
It's pretty cool. It's huge. It's so big. And there's not a lot of people here yet, which is so nice. I think this is like a you definitely gotta do it once kind of thing. And then if you find other ones that are better, do that. But you gotta do this one too. Like looking out into the lagoon and it's like white walkers coming up because like their faces are like creepy and then it's like all the hazy cloudy smoke.
And it's Iceland too, so.
And it's nice. Why do people look cute with this on?
I don't think they do. I feel like Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire after he dumped his face in the cake.
So we got the comfort package, which is the cheapest one they offer. It was, I think, $79 for like entry to the lagoon. You get a towel when you're done, a mask, a silica mask, and then a free one drink.
Could get used to this. Not gonna lie. This is technically a spa, right? Like, you get the masks, pretty much a hot tub, free drinks. Time to get out of here. Fingers are starting to prune up. Nap time. So we drove out here to the bridge between two continents, and this is like two of the biggest tectonic plates in the world. So where I'm standing right now is the Eurasian plate, and this is the largest tectonic plate on the Earth. And fun fact, it's where 75% of the Earth's population lives. Where Sarah is right now is the North American plate. And you can walk across this bridge to get to the other side. There she is, somewhere over there. How's the weather over there?
I don't have anything clever to say.
I thought you could say something.
I was.
What?
What are you gonna say?
What are you gonna say?
What are you gonna say?
Say, think on what you gonna say. Say what you're gonna say on three. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Race to your side.
I was gonna say race just to Eurasia.
Or do it officially. You wanna do the count?
Yeah. Ready? On 3, 1.
Oh, cheater! That's my ankle.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's a fun little pit stop if you like to nerd out a little bit. I mentioned this to you earlier. It's crazy that this is summer. Can you imagine what winter is here?
Cold. Really cold.
Like Arctic cold. And if that wasn't cold enough, we have in our heads the bright idea to go jump in some freezing water.
Then I'm gonna give an undergarment like this. You're just gonna put on top of everything, and the shoes on top of the undergarment.
I feel like I'm going to space.
We're gearing up to float between the same Eurasian and North American tectonic plates we walked across earlier. This time we're in the clear waters of the Silfra Fissure. If you're up for braving some cold water, this is definitely one of the coldest things to do in Iceland. And really, the dry suit keeps you pretty warm. Your lips and hands, if you're not careful, will be the only things exposed to the icy water, and they'll probably go numb pretty quick. This is the only place in the world that you can do something like this. It's one experience I think we'd do again if we returned.
Can't feel my face. Beats being cold on the surface, that's for sure. I can't even talk right now. Whole face is numb.
For all of my ladies out there who like to ice roll their face in the morning, just go snorkel in Silfra. It's 45 minutes of ice rolling your face.
Before our flight home, we grabbed hot dogs from Pilsavaganen. Remember that place from the last video? And yeah, their hot dogs are still better.
I'm sure there are plenty of ways to make this trip cheaper, but we didn't want to miss any of the things that make Iceland iconic. We've heard it before, people say Iceland is expensive. Hell, we've just said it ourselves. The food, gas, and all of the experiences can add up. But you know what? It was worth it. The freedom of a road trip, the untouched beauty of the landscapes, and the incredible Icelandic culture made it all worthwhile. And if you're of like mind or Iceland has been on your bucket list for some time, scan this QR code or check out the description to take advantage of the deals from FareDrop.
Now we're gonna do our usual